Hey guys, I'm Hunter with Nelson Insurance. I'm a trucking insurance agent here in South Dakota, and my father owned a trucking company. So I keep up with the industry quite a bit. So if you guys ever thought about owning your own trucking company, or you guys are in the process of it now, I'm gonna walk through what you really want to keep an eye out for and how you get that process started. So I mean, obviously the first thing is you want a solid business plan. 50% of truckers go out of business in the first year because they don't have things set up enough or they don't have enough money set aside. So I'm gonna get into all that stuff. So you're gonna want to outlay all your starting costs. You guys can find mentors on the stuff. You're gonna want to find goals because I've seen some trucking companies out there get to 300 trucks in 4 years. Obviously, that's a extremely rare deal, but just have realistic expectations and have goals. Because if you start growing really quick, your insurance is going to be brutal. And then have financial projections, have all that stuff ready to go. Um, so yeah, there's that. Then you want to set up your the entity. Most people are going to an LLC. Talk to the attorney to see if you want to do a corporation, sole proprietor, whatever. Most people again are going with an LLC. Then you want to register right at the bat for your EIN number. Just get your employer identification number, the IRS. That's a pretty easy deal there. And then when you're talking about financing, this is what nobody wants to hear. This is where a lot of guys go under. So have a lot of money set aside. Make sure you got enough money set aside for 3 to 6 months because you're gonna have unexpected repairs. I'll get into what the trucks look like, all that type of stuff. And insurance is being expected down payment. You're gonna be dealing with fuel and obviously picking out your truck. So have 3 to 6 months of operating expenses set aside. Start working with banks. I had one insured I worked with. She got denied by one bank and it just gave up. And I'm like, no, go try these guys. They're in town. And sure enough, she got funding right away. So try a couple of different banks. Don't let anybody get a hold of you because I'm in real estate too, and some of these banks will try to get you by the throat and really take control of you. So shop with the banks quite a bit and make sure you're getting good terms there. But once again, yeah, the 3 to 6 months operating expense right away is extremely important. Obviously, here's the stuff for trucking. You're gonna need your DOT. You're gonna need your MC number, your BOC3, your IRP, your IFTAs, and drug testing. Every single driver that drives that's under a motor carrier will need drug testing done. Your DOT, obviously, what you apply for first right away. If you guys don't know what any of this stuff means, I'm not trying to make this a super long video, but if you guys don't know what any of those things I just said are, feel free to just message me. I can get into further um, explanation of that stuff. And then with the BOC3, your MC number, your DOT number, you're going to want to go to the fmcsafilings.com. And then you're going to go to the website here and you're going to click on proceed to filing. Right below it here, it's got BOC3. And then once you get past that point, you can get your MC number, you can get all that type of stuff. Obviously, I'm a truck insurance agent. Insurance is one of the most important parts here. The FMCSA cares about auto liability. That's the main thing. Cargo, get all that stuff set up, but you're gonna need 750,000 minimum for auto liability. Really, you're gonna want 1 million though, because that's what a lot of brokers be acquiring. Almost nobody's gonna be taking yet 750. The only time you want 750 is if you're sending this thing on the side or if you are cooking your DOT. Otherwise, it would be if you got a couple brokers lined up there taking you 750, whatever. If you get a cargo van or anything on those lines, obviously you got different stuff. Same goes for hazmat. If you got hazmat, it'd be 5 million. Um, which would be a heck of a down payment for insurance. Then explaining those insurance policies here real quick. You got auto liability. When a lot of people don't understand what all these insurance coverages mean, so I'm breaking down for you here real quick. You got auto liability. Think of it as like car insurance. You hit somebody else, it's covering them. It has nothing to do with you hardly, besides the medical payments. But just keep it simple. Then you got physical damage. Physical damage covers your truck and nothing else. That's where you put the value on it. That's why insurance agents ask you the value of your truck, and that's what comprehensive and collision is. Collision is physical damage when you get in an accident. Comprehensive coverage is physical damage when it's hail, theft, storms, fire, anything along those lines. And cargo coverage is pretty self-explanatory. It's your cargo, stuff you don't own, so it can't be anything on those lines. And then there is a million endorsements for cargo coverage. If you're a reefer, you want reefer breakdown because if you have a reefer with a refrigeration piece breaks down or anything along those lines, and that stuff's getting thawed out real quick and destroys your load, you want something like that. Pollution coverage can be added onto that. So if you're hazmat or you're hauling ice cream, for example, that stuff melts, and you get a big hazmat claim, that stuff can be hundreds of thousands pretty quick. You get driver error, all that type of stuff. But keeping that simple, those are the three main coverages. And general liability would be the fourth one if there was. General liability is covering your business when you're not driving the truck. It's business operations outside the truck. The stuff's really cheap. Your auto liabilities be your most expensive part by a long shot. Your general liabilities be your cheapest part by a long shot. You can get general liability for $500 a year. When you're starting off trucking, your typical auto liability coverage is probably about 17,000 a year. Your physical damage really varies by your truck. That's always possible. Say you want to shoot for a 4% rate. I have a whole video explaining that stuff, and then your cargo anywhere from 950 to 1950 is really where you're gonna be sitting. Again, if you guys got any questions on that, just let me know. How to pick up the best truck? I mean, this stuff's all it's all opinionated. It's whatever. I would say brand new truck. You don't need as much money set aside for repair costs because it's not gonna hardly break down. What my father did, and what I think is a good recommendation is go pick up a truck if you're just starting that just got off its warranty. It's lost a ton of its value, and it just fell off the warranty. So you got guys who got much money and are buying trucks that are only on warranty. Um, and so if it just falls off the warranty, price drops significantly, and that's about the best truck you're gonna get. That's used. So that's what I would do there. You're gonna need an ELD for your truck. Go with Motive or Blue Ink. Blue Ink's really got all the details down. I mean, they're very detail oriented. Motive's one of those popular ones out there. Um, so go check out those guys. If you're gonna be a driver, if you're not, my father, he owned 3 trucks, get all that stuff in a year. He didn't drive a truck one time, never had a CDL. So if you're gonna hire drivers or if you're gonna expand quick, well, obviously you need drivers. The most important thing is pull an MBR before you hire somebody. Once you get your insurance in place, once you get all this stuff in place, um, pull motor vehicle reports of your drivers before you hire them or before you technically hire them. Put them on your insurance quick or quote them on your insurance because if these guys have got the suckiest driving record or just even they got a couple things on there, you're gonna pay an arm and a leg for it, and it's gonna be miserable. I quoted one company who had 3 drivers. They were really not that bad compared to 3 drivers who were excellent. And it went up 60,000 a year for this guy, and he had 9 trucks. So be careful of that stuff. Pull MVRs. 2 years minimum CEL experience would be very helpful. If you're still with somebody like Progressive or Geico, they're not really going to care. It's going to be cheaper if they get 2 years CDL experience, but once you been in business for a couple of years, 2 years CDL experience are going to be putting you with good companies. Um, you don't want to hire qualified drivers. I've seen bad drivers run a company. I had one company I was quoting, been around for 27 years. To hire one bad driver, had 2 or 3 claims, and then they went out of business because their insurance tripled. They had quite a few large claims. Instead of a maintenance program, make sure these trucks are being run through the shop weekly. That you guys are always doing regular inspections of the trucks, because in your first year you're going to have a DOT audit. If your truck sucks and the thing's not kept up, you're either going to be put out of business or you're going to collect some fines. So be careful of that stuff. One thing I did forget to say is Do not buy insurance in the first 10 days of applying for your authority. There's a 10-day vetting period. If you start shopping around for insurance and this guy's like, oh, hey, just apply for your authority, go ahead and get insurance on this thing right away so you speed the process. Don't listen to that guy. Don't work with him. He obviously either doesn't know or he does know and he's just trying to get you to waste your money. You can't do anything for those 10 days anyway, so don't have freaking insurance to sit around and do nothing. Your first month's your most expensive month. Your first year is your most expensive year. Don't pay a ton of money on insurance when it's your second most, when typically it's your second highest expense and you're just wasting days of your down payment. Do nothing. So be careful of that. So now that you guys got this stuff, there's one last piece I would say before you go and start finding loads. I highly recommend getting hooked up with Synergy Solutions. They're going to give you mock DOT um, audits, so that way you stay in business. If you got any drivers, they're going to watch the drivers on the camera. I've seen them bring companies down from 2.7 million in claims to 5,000. You guys, a lot of you guys who want to just do the bare bones, keep this thing as cheap as possible. But here's the thing: is if you can't afford to have a safety manager, you can't afford to be in business. And as soon as something goes wrong, you're going to be out of business anyway. So make this stuff work so that way you guys can afford to stay in business because safety kills businesses when your insurance costs go through the roof or your drivers are not being taken care of or anything of the above. Synergy Solutions, get hooked up with those guys. Another thing too is you can go to mytruckingmentor.com and get hooked up with a mentor who's been doing this forever. So that way you guys are sitting good. So there's that. Last thing is now you guys find loads. What do you guys got to do to get the money coming in? Um, Hit the DAT. Start working for contracts early. Your first 3 months are gonna be the worst. After 6 months, things will be sitting pretty good. Nobody's really gonna work with you for the first 3 months. So you can go lease on with somebody if you want to. Maybe talk to other guys. Again, the mentor deal. Find the other guys. Who are they getting loads from right away in the beginning? Do not get insurance cancellation the first 3 months. You will not get any loads whatsoever. If you thought it was hard, you get insurance cancellation the first 2 months. It's gonna be damn near impossible for you. Um, but hit the DAT, start working contracts early. A lot of these trucking companies are going out of business. 135,000 carriers went out of business last year. So, the demand's going to start going up here. But hit the DAT, find other truckers, see what they're doing. Once you hit 6 months, you kind of are golden. So that's really how you guys start a trucking company. I kept it pretty simple, straight to the point. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out below in the comments, or I'm gonna leave my contact info. You guys can call or text me anytime you guys want. I mean, I'm here to help. If you guys would hit the subscribe button, hit the like. I am trying to grow my content to reach more people, so that way I can just help other people out. My father was in the truck industry. I was originally in the truck industry before I got into insurance. So I love this stuff. And yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for watching, guys.